Hello
Okay.
everybody and welcome to Sunday League, Season 9, Round 9 here at Cuba. We're here underway for the qualifying session. I'm joined by Lev. Lev, say hello.
Hello, guys.
Woo. We've got Levy here. And Levy, would you like to give us our little quali rundown as per usual?
All right. So, okay, I need to scale down the track a bit more, just so I can see something. We can see Spooder making his lap. Currently, his lap is 26, 27, 28. Who has finished his lap? No one yet. Oh, Danimator with a clear of 32.85. Will some?
Rito
Did
32.87.
yeah, he's beating it right now. And Nuno is on provisional pole of
Oh, what a surprise.
32.73. Yeah, exactly.
Actual
What a surprise.
surprise. Not sarcasm.
Hmm.
Mucho texto.
We've got the provisional pole sitter here in the commentary studio with us.
Yeah, he got RC controls in the car, so he is in the commentary box.
It's actually
Plain-
on autopilot. It just studies all of his AI lines and drives the car accurately to them. Nobody can beat
Yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly. So did anyone beat it yet? No, I don't think anyone did.
So I heard that Nuno improved his lap.
Did he?
Ooh!
Oh my gosh.
Oh no!
Spooder's debut today. Alright, let's see how they all do. Coming into
Damn.
the stuff now.
Uh-oh. Prix.
Nuno takes pole position. Gamer will line up alongside him on the front row. Rito starts third. Spooder, in his Sunday League debut, will start fourth on the grid. He's ahead of Danimator, starting in fifth, sharing the third row alongside Hernandi. Seventh is Uris for LYR. That's a very high qualifying position for him. Eighth is Anti. Ninth is Andres. And 10th, we have Julo. 11th is Rozims, 12th Jaruni, 13th for Grandi, and only 14th for Sobel. Comi in 15th, Jake Brad in 16th, and Kubo in his first race as full-time SCP driver rounds out the grid. Really interesting that, actually. I think, I might be incorrect here, I think the entire grid is split exactly in half. We have 9 cars from 9 different teams inside the top 9. That's remarkable. That is remarkable. Levy, what do you have to say?
Yep. Was an interesting quali, especially that we have only Kubo qualifying more than 1 second, and all the other guys have qualified less than 1 second, which is showing how competitive the field is.
Absolutely. Interesting championship implications for this race. We have Gamer leading the way by 27 points. If he outscores Danimator by 5 points or more in this race, he is the Sunday League Season 9 World Champion. We're nearly ready to get underway here in Cuba. Here. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights ahead of the drivers. We're underway in Cuba. Nuno immediately covers off Gamer. That causes a bit of a bottleneck. Got Rito, Spooder to the outside, Danimator on the inside. Spooder holds him off. Gamer makes a mistake. Rito gets through for second place here. Spooder still looking to challenge the front pack. Kubo got a slow start. He's off the tail of the pack in the background. Spooder up into P2. Rito going for the attack here. Gamer tackles him. Spooder just glitches to the side. Slightly loses the back there. Urist up there as well. Rito holds him back. There's the pack. The MAYs take each other out into the grass there. They fall down into 7th and 9th positions up in front. We've still got Rito and Nandi now and Gamer fighting over second position. Anti, then Rozim and Urist going side by side in the background. Spooder looking to join this battle. Can he go down the middle? He tries to. Miscooks the entry. Danimator and Rozim. Danimator puts his brother in the wall. Really interesting there. Grandi through on the inside. Spooder. Andre's the reserve driver today. He's in the action too. He's up into 9th place. Challenging Spooder's fallen down from 4th on the grid. Danimator in 6th. Urus right behind him for company. Hernandi in 4th place. Anti right behind him for company. Rito and Gamer are 2nd and 3rd place drivers. Nuno still leads the way. Anti and Hernandi simultaneously ask each other to slipstream. That is when you know you have a cooperative driver pairing. Quick tyre rundown. Most of the grid starting on the mediums. Anti on the hards. Urist on the hards. Andres, Kubo and Komi all on soft. Sobel starting low down. still where he started on the hards. We see Gamer getting through on Rito. Lev.
So far, an interesting start for sure with Kubo starting from last place, going to 12th place already. And meanwhile, Spooter was almost leading one of the lap. And the Jurist is in 8th place, which is interesting.
Four
Because,
wide
oh,
into turn one they go. Danimator shoves Eurus slightly wide on the exit. Andres and Spooder battling it out here. Andres in his race back in Sunday League in 6th position. He's never finished higher than 10th in his entire career. He's fighting Spooder, debutant today for that position. Danny to the inside. We get a little bit of a lag storm. Think might be caused by Spooder there because he gets worst effective from it. He's down to 11th. Kubo right behind him. Then Jake, Brad, Sobel, Julo, who's fallen down the pack. He's in 15th. Commie in 16th. Jaruni in 17th. One DNS today for the Lynx Racing team. Zane not able to join us. The front two as they were, Nuno and Gamer, Hernandi, then Rito, Anti. 5 drivers who have been on top form this season thus far, and they're looking for all strong finishes today. We've got Danimator heading his own little train. Andres and Jurist, then Grandi down to 9th, and a separated gap back to Rozim, who then shakes off Spooder. We've got a battle in the background. Kubo and Sobel going side by side. Julo uses the little bit of grass that Sobel goes onto just to get through on the inside. Sobel has to back out there as they weave their way through the tricky flat out section. Jake lets his teammate Spooder through. They don't want to be battling too close to that pit entry. The FLF drivers, neither main driver here today, both reserve drivers going wheel to wheel into turn one. Jake's not looking to give this one up yet. He's still looking to the inside. He does slightly back off, and Spooder will keep the 11th place for the time being. Jurist and Andres, two very experienced drivers in the sport. Grandi gets through on Jurist as he's just caught napping after coming off worse in that wheel-to-wheel battle against Andres. Jurist and Grandi both off the track in the top corner. Rozim smartly dodges both of them and gets right through. He'll go into 8th place. Andres into the pit lane, showing the pace advantage that those softs really do have at the start of the race. Lev.
So far I can see that battle between Julo and Sobel, and it's going really well so far, with Julo leading it in it, but no one from these drivers is backing out yet. So, well, it's gonna be very tight between these two.
Huge battle all the way from what is that, like 7th down to 13th. We've got a 7-car train here as we head into the final corner. Big lunge from Jake and Grandi. Spooder force wide, who's going into pit anyways. That's fine. Sobel comes out in the lead of the back half of the train. Julo up into 9th from that poor start already. He's looking to challenge Rozim and Eurus. They've got a big separated gap back from the front 6, consisting of Danimator in 6th, Rito in 5th, then Anti, Hernandi, Gamer, and Nuno still leading the way. His gap out in front not quite once what it was. He's into the pit lane. All 3 of them are, in fact. Gamer has to just avoid his historic rival there as they exit. Rito enters in a way that Hernandi and Gamer just have to back out a little bit, and that will lose them just a fraction of time on the Portuguese driver. They've got to work together here, to be totally honest, because any more battling and they will lose any sniff of the race lead that they can possibly have. So in terms of championship implications, remember, Anti, Rito, Danimator and Gamer, the 4 drivers still left in it. Gamer needs to beat Rito and Anti and outscore Danimator rather by at least 5 points. He's currently on that trajectory as he goes to the outside into turn 1. This is for the lead of the race. Can't quite find the grip, but he turns into the inside for the next corner. Turn 2. Nuno goes slightly wide on the exit. Gamer through into the lead of the race. Sorry, not the lead of the race. My apologies, because they all came to the pit lane. Anti is out in the actual lead. This is the net lead of the race. Anti believing that a hard stint at the start with an overcut, avoiding the battling as he is so tactfully out in front at the moment, will really help out his advantage. He does now come into pit lane. We'll follow where he comes out, but we've got a 3-way battle for the race lead in actuality now. Nuno just looking for a slipstream from Gamer. At the time being, of course, battling would open up the possibilities to all the drivers behind, particularly Rito, looking quite feisty there, to open up the battle for the lead of the race in reality, and that's not what they want, because that decreases your chances of winning the race. So if they can work together now, it'll pay back for them later. Andy came out of the pit lane. He's in 6th, but on brand new, fresh hards, Danimator on slightly worn mediums, scrubbed mediums we'll call them, Rito on scrubbed mediums as well, Hanandi on scrubbed hards, Nuno and Gamer. Remember, these guys all pitted about the same time. Anti, the only one with the differing strategy, going for the overcut with the harder compound at the start. Gamer makes a mistake. Nuno right onto him. Gamer takes an ambitious cut there. Nuno goes round the outside into that corner. Hanandi tries to move too. Gamer covers him off. Nuno, though, still out in the lead. Gamer, though, still with his slipstream. Hanandi, though, still with his slipstream as well. Levy.
Yep. The lead battle is interesting for sure, but Julio and Grandi are also battling it out, and so do both FLFs, who are not really giving an easy time to each other, while Sobel might use it as an advantage, and he pitted just the pit at the lap when anti-pitted, I think. He also tried to overcut on these hards, but considering he was pretty much near Julio, it didn't really work out, so undercuts here work really well.
Spuda nearly winning the Challenger League race earlier on. He lost the lead on the final lap after leading every other lap to Grandi, which must have been absolutely heartbreaking, but he's making his Sunday League debut now. And he's looking to score a good position here. He was battling with his teammate, as he said, just seconds ago. He's lost positions to Sobel and Eurus, looking to gain back on Eurus. Eurus defends aggressively to the inside. Spuda still looking for a way through there. Meanwhile, Jake and Sobel battling it out. This is all over 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. 3 wide they go into the exit of that corner. That's a really dangerous place to do it, but Eurus keeps it out. There's a lag rocket. They're both off the track, Eurus and Jake Brad. And they've been overtaken by 2 cars. They're down to 14th and 15th. Kubo in 16th, and Komi running well off the pace. He's in 17th. Front 3 as we left them. Gamer, though, out in the front, out in the lead of the race. And Andy with a big mistake as Lev reacts to there and gets a penalty for contact with Rito on the re-entry there. Hanandi down into 5th place. A little bit of a lag storm at the moment. Just a minor one, cleared itself up, but that won't change the fact that Hanandi's fallen out from the battle for the lead, down into 5th place after just a couple bad corners there. That's really compromised his race. The big 6 still as they were. Grandi leading the best of the rest. Julo fighting over that as well. Andres, just a minute ago, was up in 7th place. So really, really good position for him. He's now in for his 2nd stop of the race, which he gets onto new, fresh mediums, and he'll come out with a good bit of clean air ahead of him as his teammate Kubo pits in behind as well. Double stack for the SCPs. Andres reserving for them today. Jaruni and Eurus going side by side here. Eurus really relegated down the pack after that lag rocket, despite good battling earlier on in the race. Then we've got Grandi and Julo, as you rightfully said, and Rosine, 3 drivers, all not new. They've all got a good bit of experience in the sport so far. Rosine and Grandi, of course, teammates in both of their debut seasons. Last time in Season 8 for VEO, they've gone to their respective teams, but that hasn't stopped them fighting it out on track, as they have always done, right? Eurus ahead of them, Sobel and Julo. Nuno having pitted down into 6th place. He's on fresh hards. Rito undercutting by a little bit. He's on pretty fresh mediums still. Danimator, Hanandi and Gamer all into the pit lane. Anti takes the lead of the race back. Nuno, with his famous SA, is looking for some cooperation with Rito, driving the sister car of VEO. Rito looking in very good contention this season until basically the last couple of races, because being tackled into the pit lane on lap 1 by Sobel in a freak crash, as well as missing last race, has meant that he's only scored not that many points in the last few races, which has taken him well out of championship contention, down into 3rd place in the standings behind Danimator. So he needs a miracle to still win the title this season, but that doesn't take away anything from the fact he's been very good, and he battles with Nuno wheel to wheel here. Nuno just catches a little bit of grass on the exit as he hits that wall. That allows Rito back up into 2nd place, into the net race lead for the moment. So we've got different tyre strategies. Anti still yet to make his 2nd stop. Rito on the mediums, Gamer on slightly fresher mediums. Rito pulling off a very successful undercut on that front 2. Nuno on fresh hards. Gamer just a little adrift of this pack. Nandi and Danimator now out here. They were teammates, of course, last season at LSA, and they're nobody really expected coming into the season that Hanandi would be as high performing as he has been, but he's been absolutely phenomenal so far in this season. Of course, he's scored The 2 podiums, he's gone on a win, and he's showed some consistent Class A performances, if that's what you're going to call it. And he is challenging Danimator on fair, pure pace here. We'll go to their Danimator's ex-team boss and Andy's current team boss, Levioso. What are your thoughts so far?
So far, I can see rain is gonna come now, just as you have given me the right to say it. It's gonna be a rain, which is always funny because whenever it rains, I should say that it's gonna rain. It's gonna be heavy rain, so I
Lev,
think...
what's this done for Anti? What's this done for Anti?
Oh, for Anti...
It's
Oh,
perfect
for Anti...
him. He's in the lead.
Whoa.
Oh, Sun coming back. What are
Oh,
they gonna
Nandy
do?
stays out.
Game is pitted onto hards. Oh my god. They've all pitted.
And Reto pitted. And Reto pitted for softs.
Hernandi really slow through the opening corners there. Gamer pits for fresh hards. The water is going to be going away. That's a very interesting strategy call from Gamer. You'd almost think just go with whatever anybody else is doing. But he's looking to try and save a pit stop here if he can. And the hards are the best way to do that because he'll have maximum slick tyre running on that set after the track clears up. Anti and Nuno, though, battling over what is the actual race lead. They're both agreeing to slipstream. This seems to be a common theme so far this race. Very cooperative, very lovely from our little Class A drivers. Gamer is the... Rito's the top runner on the slicks still. I think, did he pit as well? I'm not sure. Yes, I think he did pit for fresh, brand new softs as soon as the announcement that the clouds were coming back came. I would have maybe gone for inters, honestly, because you get a little bit of track dampness, and then obviously it dries up. We'll see as these front 2 come into the pit lane how it's going to shape out for the rest of them. Anti and Nuno into their respective pit boxes. Nuno first pit box, Anti second pit box as their teams finish in those positions. Last season, Rito comes through, Gamer comes through ahead of Danimator, but still detached from this pack. Overall, net, not that much ground gained or lost by having the 2 different strategies there, but important to keep in mind that Anti and Nuno now on fresh hards, and Gamers are a little bit scrubbed, as are Rito's soft as well. But Rito in the battle of the cream / yellow / gold coloured cars, they're all too similar for my liking, goes into the lead of the race, potentially goes down the inside. Nuno follows him through. Anti falls from first down to third position, although he's going to battle Nuno over second here. Goes to the inside, sweeps through these bendy turns, keeps Nuno behind him. So the current running order, Rito out in front on his softs and the hard tyre runners. Very fresh hards of Anti and Nuno. Gap back to Gamer and Danimator, who are battling over 4th and 5th. It doesn't look like that strategy's worked for Gamer. He's on older and harder tyres than Danny, who he desperately needs to outscore in this race in order to cement those title aspirations. So Rito, though, out in the lead of the race. Anti right behind him. They look like they're coming up to lap their first cars. It's Kubo and Jake Brad, the past and present FLF drivers, both having left their contracts with the team this season. Jake Brad through retirement, Kubo through signing for another team, namely SCP, as main driver. Opening up here again down that main straight, but you get a lot of slipstream. Side by side go Rito and Anti. Nuno down the inside takes both positions and goes into the lead of the race. What a fantastic overtake from the Portuguese man there. Anti, though, giving a bit of a rough exit through the sweepers there. He's back down into third. Anti still in the race lead. He's probably led the most laps out of anyone this race by this point. Apart from maybe Nuno's. These two really battling out over it. Of course, Rito right now in that battle, but remember that he is on much softer tyres, and he does have to come into the pit lane now. Danimator and Gamer will go past in third and fourth as Rito comes out onto his fresh mediums. Hernandi has unfortunately fallen off the back of the podium contending pack. He's in sixth. Urist up in seventh after a good start and then a bad second part, and now back to good form. He's up in 7th. He's running the hards, which still have a good bit of life left in them. Sobel and Razim right behind him. Grandi and Julo in 11th. Spuda in 12th. Andres in 13th. They'll both be quite happy with those finishing positions. I believe that will be The highest that Andres has finished in substantial amount of time. I know he finished 13th in Nürburgring in Season 8, but I don't think he's finished any higher than that since, so 12th place finish would be fantastic for the one-off reserve driver. Jaruni also standing in, as is Komi, as is Jake Brad, who's battling Kubo over the final position. A lap down from the leaders, who are Anti, then Nuno, Danimator, then Gamer, Rito having stopped a bit back from them now. Lev.
Well, if we are talking about VCC battle, I can say that, well, I can't say who's getting more points or less. I think both LSA and RMC would get the same amount of points
Wow.
as the results stand. Probably, I don't really know. So yep, we have still hopes for a battle going to the last round, and for VDC 2. So yeah.
I think we almost certainly will have a constructors battle into the final round. I think, according to my calculations, RMC need to outscore LSA by 26 points this weekend in order to seal the deal come the checkered flag. That is, of course, then assuming that mathematically LSA could get pole, win, second place, fastest lap, not pole because that doesn't count for any points, but maximum points in Niagara Falls, with RMC getting none, and then still not winning the championship, because that is the mathematical contention for it. But as it looks realistically, if they're tied on points in terms of what they score this race, then it's going to be a tough ask for LSA, but not impossible coming to the final round. Nuno and Anti still fighting it out over the race lead. Anti, with a little mistake there, just drops back a touch. He still needs to keep Nuno's slipstream around a pretty windy track, with slipstream of course being a straight line hitbox. Nuno though understeer on the exit of that corner that invites Anti right back into the battle. It'll be fascinating to see how they've done when they both come into the pit lane, because they have been standing on each other's toes a bit. Anti going down the inside into the final corner takes first place back. This can't be helping them out, especially with Rito chasing behind. Danimator and Gamer in 4th and 5th. Gamer took the undercut onto softs, so he's got slightly older tyres, and he's still about 8/10 back from Danimator, so he's currently looking at a solid 5th place, but not the 5 points over Danimator that he needs in order to secure the championship. As well as, even at that rate, he'd still need to finish, I believe, less than 7 points behind Rito. So if none of that happens, the championship battle for both championships will go to the final race. Nuno pits in for the undercut. Anti continues to lead the race. We're on lap 34 of 43 here. We've just got 9 left on the counter. Anti leads the way. Last week he was looking fantastic for a potential race win. This week looking even more so, particularly after the rain stint last time out in Nukunare. He looked like he could really battle, challenge Nomska. And this week he's definitely taken his form against one of the other greats, Nuno. Statistically the greatest driver of all time in Sunday League, of course, but he hasn't won since Season 3, Round 5, so it has been a lot of races since he's last managed to do so. Of course, we're now on the, I believe, 79th running of a Sunday League Grand Prix, and his last win was on the 28th or something like that, so it has been a very, very long time since he has taken a race win. I think maybe even 18th. It's about 60 races. He comes into the pit lane now. Rito in right behind him. Danimator inherits the lead of the race, becoming probably the 4th or 5th person to lead. Up in front, we've got right at the back actually, we've got Jake Brad and Kubo battling it out here for 16th and 17th. Komi ahead of them. Then Andres battling Jaruni. Spuda in 12th on his debut race. Grandi 11th. Eurus 10th. Julo 9th. Sobel 8th. Rosine 7th. Fernandi 6th. Then Rita having pitted down to 5th. Still right behind Anti in 4th. Nuno just a bit ahead of both of these guys. 2 seconds was the gap that he managed to gain through that undercut. Gamer in 2nd on the track, but he does need to pit for one final stint onto the softs. Danimator currently leading the way. Danny and Gamer both need to make one more stop, so although they are 1st and 2nd on track, they are not net 1st or net 2nd. That title currently belongs to Nuno, who's looking very, very good for a race win after his undercut, but he does need to clear Gamer for track position here. Gamer covers off the inside, no move from Nuno up through there. Can he go round the outside? I think Gamer just slows to let him through there, and he does go through. Nuno up into second place on the track, make that first as Gamer will slipstream him here. Surely Gamer's got to be coming in, but with only 5 laps to go, that's not a whole lot of time that will be running the softs for. So really interesting. Maybe he's just hanging it out waiting for rain. That could be a total possibility, but with it currently being sunny, there's not a high likelihood of that. Now a bit behind Anti, having lost touch to Nuno. He's in third place on track, net second, but he needs to clear Gamer immediately to have any chance of challenging Nuno for the race win. Remember that Nuno's tyres will be slightly older because the undercut just 1 lap. Gamer with his big overcut here. Let's see how it goes for him, knowing his luck it'll probably announce rain right now as he's just pitted. But no, he does come out in 5th place, well adrift of the front 4, so it will be a solid, pretty much confirmed 5th for him today. Danimator in 4th, Anti in 3rd, Rito in 2nd. Danny, really interestingly, has joined this battle, and it doesn't look like any longer that it'll be a battle for the race lead. Nuno 2 seconds clear of the rest of them now. Rito in 2nd place as it is. Danimator looking for a 2nd place here today. Of course, he won in Kyle Army, but overall has been very consistent this season as well. He scored 2nd place in Australia, and this would be his tied 2nd highest finish of the season with that race. He gets through on Rito, as Anti in the background still in 4th after battling very, very promisingly for the lead of the race. He'd be pretty agonised not to even get a podium today, wouldn't you say, Lev?
I don't think I can say that pretty much. Apart from that, if Julio will overtake Urus, LSA and RMC will be potentially tied on points in this race. I mean, they will gain the same amount of points in this race.
Interesting. Thanks for keeping part of the Constructors' Championship battle there, Lev. Our live leaderboard. But Nuno still leading the way. Danimator has closed that gap to under a second. Danny on fresher softs than Nuno's hard. This could be a potential 2nd race win of the season for Danimator, a 5th race win of his career, and it all banks on him getting through on Nuno in the final couple laps. That gap now down to 4/10, closing all the time, 3/10 now. He's right behind Nuno, within slipstream range. He needs to craft an overtake here, but Nuno, a fantastic driver that he is, will defend for all of his might to take a 22nd race win. It doesn't look that way though, as Danimator does get through. Nuno desperately needs to keep this slipstream for even a sniff at the race win. He does. He gets a good exit through the final corner. He'll keep Danimator's slipstream. We're on to the final lap here in Cuba. We get a battle for the race win on the final lap. Danimator on the fresher softs, Nuno on the older hards, and it looks like he might just lose the slipstream range. He's closing in. He takes a bad cut through there, and he has lost the back of Danimator. Rito not close enough to challenge Nuno here today. Anti similarly out of contention, but here we do have Danimator coming round the final corner to take a 5th race win, a 2nd of the season. Danimator wins in Cuba. Nuno takes home P2 for FGR. Rito makes it 3rd place for the team. 4th place will go to Anti. 5th Gamers. Little lag rocket at the end from the lapped cars, and it will be Danimator, Nuno, Rito, your podium. Rito taking the fastest lap. Anti in 4th, Gamer 5th place for him. 6th for Hernandi and 7th for Sobel. 8th for Grandi. 9th is Rosims, and 10th goes to Urist. 11th, Julo. That's an impressive top 10 for Urist. I think that's only his 2nd of the season. 12th for Spuder in his debut race, a very solid result. 13th for Girouni and 14th for Andres, not bad at all for the driver coming back for one race. Kamikaze, 15th for him. Kubo in 16th, and he does beat Jake Brad in the end, who finishes in 17th place. Lev, any closing thoughts?
Well, LSA has gained more points than RMC because, well, Julio lost quite a lot of positions there in the last laps. I didn't really follow what happened there, but he was around 8th until Grandi overtook him. But what happened to him being in 11th is a mystery for me.
He has lost a good few positions on the final lap. That could come to effect for championship fight. It's been a great race here in Cuba, a fantastic battle for the win. I really hope you've enjoyed watching. We've really enjoyed commentating. Join us for one final time in the season finale at Niagara Falls, where both championship fights will come down to the wire. Until next time, see ya.